Next speaker is Tatiana and Amanda Al-Chueyr with a talk about using Python to help with my spelling tests.
Thank you.
Using Python to help with my spelling tests.
So this project idea started when we were practicing for Amanda's spelling test. How many people in the audience ever had a spelling test at school? Good, so you can relate. In Brazil, we didn't have this when I was...
Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm 8 years old and I'm in Year 3 in Anglo-Portuguese School of London. I like reading books, playing Lego, swimming, singing, and I like watching Pokemon and K-pop Demon Hunters. I am from England. My mother's from Brazil and my father's from Poland.
Hi, I'm Tatiana. In Brazil, the nickname is Tati. And I have more than 20 years of experience programming. I worked right in many sectors, from the Brazilian Ministry of Science and Technology to TV channels such as Globo in Brazil and BBC. And currently I work for Astronomer. If you heard about the Coldplay viral video, yes, that's us. We are one of the main contributors to Apache Airflow project. I've been using Python since very early stages. I love open source, nature, traveling, and solving real-world problems. I'm originally from Brazil, and I've been living in the UK for the last 11 years now.
At school, every week we get a spelling test. The next week, we need to learn and say it and write it in a piece of paper or in a book.
This is an example from Year 3. Amanda just started Year 4. It's a bit longer than Year 4, but the principle is the same. When I moved to London, I realized how many people were foreigner, but when we check the statistics, it's quite impressive. So more or less 4 in every 10 people live in London, they were not actually born in London.
It can be tricky to practice spelling tests at home.
Some example of English words that some Brazilians or other nationalities may struggle pronouncing. So word specializes. In Brazil, we don't have words that start with a S, for instance. Very commonly, we would say tired, where we would pronounce the eng in the end of the word. It may be hard for us to pronounce like sheep, sheep, and cheap. Amanda keeps correcting me. Heat and heat, eighth. So the th sounds something we don't have in Portuguese. In Brazil, there are a few words that we converted to Brazilian versions. So we would say internet. So, oh my God, that's terrible in English. So sometimes I may say things with that pronunciation. Then Greenwich, many of us may say Greenwich, as we think it is written. So basically what happened was in the beginning of Year 3, when we were practicing from some spelling tests with Amanda, she was doing really well. And I noticed the words she would sometimes get wrong in the spelling tests was because my pronunciation was different than the teacher. And then I felt quite bad about that, because it doesn't feel fair that just because she has a foreigner mom who doesn't have English as a foreign language, she wouldn't be able to have the actual experience of having a proper spelling practice at home, so it could be more close to the teacher. So we started trying to see alternatives. So Amanda would still like the human being mom to be there and speak sometimes, but we would usually also use another tool where we would know the accuracy would be a bit better than mine. So we used Google Lens to try to identify the words. We would take a photo, I'd use Google Lens to identify the word, and then we would ask it to play. Sometimes it wouldn't identify the word correctly, or it would sound a bit weird, and then we would go to Oxford or Cambridge Dictionary as well, so we could have some sort of additional support. What we noticed is it wasn't quite good. So many times Google Lens would not identify the word correctly, or it wouldn't pronounce quite like Amanda's teacher. It would be very robotic. And then Amanda needed me to be on my phone, clicking on every word so she could practice, which was quite suboptimal. Why did I have to be there on the way of her learning? And Oxford and Cambridge dictionaries, they didn't have all the variations of the spelling test. So many words would start with or would have an ed or ing, and many times in the Oxford and Cambridge dictionary, you would just have the root words.
Let's make our own computer program. Human beings speak many languages: Chinese, English, French, German, Japanese, Polish, Portuguese, Spanish, Welsh, and many more. But computers don't understand them so well, so Mom started teaching me how to speak a language computers understand, Python. What should this program do?
So we wanted to make sure it could go from a text to the audio, and Amanda would have some level of independence to practice for her spelling tests at home.
This is how I started talking to Mom's computer.
So Amanda learned to open the terminal.
My first attempt was to tell Python to spell word. But Python didn't quite understand.
So I really tried to give freedom to Amanda to try to solve the problem by herself initially. I knew, of course, that she would need support, and she had lots of support on the project, but I think much of programming is to try and get things wrong and learn from those. So that's how she started.
I learned how to use quotes to represent words. For Python, question is different than question. When we don't use quotes, we refer to variables. Variables can be very useful. We assign values, strings, numbers to them. We can even do times tables with them.
And then the question was, could Python read aloud a string? So I explained to Amanda that whenever she's in the Python terminal, if she wants to know what to do with some object, she could use the dir function.
Python could upper the text. There were fun things I could do with a string, like upper its letters. It made all the letters uppercase instead of lowercase. But there was no speak. Dir didn't have speak, but I had to try a few options. Functions like talk and say also did not exist.
So I showed Amanda where would be the source of truth for Python, the standard library. So we went to Python.org and we checked the docs. And we tried to search a few options to see if Python could natively speak out those words from her spelling practice. And she saw there was print and len, but nothing to speak.
I was disappointed print didn't actually print, and there was no speak.
So we checked PyP, the old cheese shop, to see if there would be a Python library to do this. And there's Python libraries for everything, so we were quite confident, and we found many options.
We decided to try PyTTSX3.
So this is one of our first attempts.
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
And that's what we got. Amanda tried a few variations of that as well. The reason why we decided to stick to this as a starting point, it was very robotic. But there was full offline support, which would mean whatever we want to do, we could do offline, and this gives us a lot of flexibility. It could leverage the system voice, audios, and synthesizers, which I thought was quite cool. And then there were other features we will show that we could tweak. And then how good this library depends on the operating system you're using. For Mac, it works as we are going to show in the presentation.
We fine-tuned PTTSX free speed.
So this is how it was first, right, Chamandinha? The default.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
But it was too fast, so then we tried.
So we tried to change the rate to 1.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
But it was too slow.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
So after several attempts, Amanda was very excited to play with the rates. We decided to stick to 150, but we can certainly tweak this after. The second thing that happened was Amanda was upset it was a male voice. She would like to be a female voice. So you can see this was the original one.
Creature in creation, studying English pronunciation.
This is the first line of a poem, The Cows, which plays with many English words that are pronounced in a weird way. So initially we thought, okay, so this is how we get voices. Perhaps we should just go to the next one. We assumed voice 0 would be the first one. So we tried this one.
The artist creature in creation, studying English pronunciation.
And then we realized, oh my God, that sounds worse than me. So we thought, okay, there are different languages and speeches for those languages vary. So we filtered out which were the languages available in the system, and we chose the ones that would have British pronunciation. This is a compilation of them. I will play very quickly so you can see.
Pronunciations by me. Pronunciations by Globo. Pronunciations by Grandwell. Pronunciations by Grandwell. Pronunciations by Reed. Pronunciations by Rocco. Pronunciations by Sandy. Pronunciations by Shani.
Pronunciations by Daniel.
So after seeing all those, I told Amanda we better stick to Daniel. She still wanted just to consider one of the others, but we still are discussing this topic. We also learned to export from the library the audio file. We couldn't export straight away an MP3, but we could export away. So
I'm happy to be at PYCON UK.
that's Daniel, by the way. And then we try to find strategies to be able to actually spell the word. So she could later listen the spelling.
BLISSFUL.
And then I showed Amanda how to create functions in Python so she could actually reuse that across many words.
There are issues. It sounded very robotic, just like Google and Siri.
And it doesn't quite understand the context. So there are words that may have different pronunciations depending on their meaning. An example, lead, the verb, where you guide, and led, the noun for the metal. And Oxford Dictionary would say
Lead.
For the verb,
Led.
for the noun. But PyTGSX would say
Led.
regardless of the context. So we even wrote 2 phrases.
I've been asked to lead the team today.
And that's incorrect, because this should be lead.
Lead is the heaviest of the base metals.
And that one was correct, by chance. There were a few things, though, we were quite impressed. So I just tried to break it. Those are not official spelling words from school. And I just thought, what are tricky words that perhaps this thing won't be able to pronounce properly? And I will quickly play them. They are in alphabetic order, just because we generated the audio file for them, and then we assembled them by alphabetical order. So you should expect this word first, the, and so on. So just to have an idea.
Dent, Edinburgh, Gloucester, Knight, Leicester, Suffolk, Sword.
So we thought it was quite distant.
I wanted to be able to practice without a laptop. Could we play the words and their spellings in my Yoto player?
So I'm not sure if everyone is familiar, but this device here is a Yoto player. There's an alternative which is a Tony as well. The power of this is it gives children the possibility to use an audio device which is mostly screenless. I bought this for Amanda by the time I bought the original sized one during COVID because I realized my limitation with English and the fact I wanted her to be exposed to the proper English. And she loves listening audio guides and songs and things. And this is an example of card that represents a story from the famous five. You have many. And you have the ability to make your own cards. So it's very, very powerful. And then children can record. They could even have podcasts if they wanted. And then the idea was, could we get that audio in this card so she could just practice? So this part of the project, as you can expect, was a bit more complex. But basically the steps we followed were similar to the code we showed. She wrote the spelling words. Then we use PyTTS X3 to convert the text into speech using the configuration we thought was okay. And then we saved the audio file. We created the credentials at the Autodev. It was very easy, very, very lightweight process. I wrote some code so we could get an access token based on my app's client ID. After that, we managed to upload the audio, the tracks, to the Yoto server. And then we associated those tracks to a playlist. Because in Yoto, what you have are playlists. Playlists can be matched to a card if you want. So these are some cards we created. There are other cards that you can buy commercially. And these are examples of our own cards. And then when you check, for instance, these are Amanda's drama lessons things, you can see there are tracks. And then she can move from one track to the other one, she can replay a track if she wants. So we wanted to do something like this. So we uploaded the tracks, we created a playlist which references those tracks, and then we linked the playlist to Yoto page. So now we're going to show an example of one of the Yoto cards she created. This one only has 2 words, because we thought it would be good enough for the presentation, but it basically varies. And the one we will be showing is this one, this is small. So the words are misbehave, misplace, and Amanda will play now for you.
Spelling for misbehave, M-I-S-B-E-H-A-V-E. Spelling for misplace, M-I-S-P-L-A-C-E.
Those are the actual spellings, but if you go back, we also...
The word is misplace. Repeating, the word is misplace.
So,
Spelling for misbehave,
so as you can see, we add a track that actually says the word, repeats the word. We do that for all the words in the spelling test, similar to what the teacher would do. And then after that, we have tracks where we actually do the spelling, so she can do the checking herself. Everything is screenless. So we would like actually to get from the audience, we would like to try to create in real time during this talk a new playlist. That's a bit risky, but we want you to try. So would anyone have a suggestion of a word which I can spell, please? Or 2 words, so we could try to create a Yoto card now.
Child.
Amanda, please come here. Escreve. Por favor, child. Ó, aqui. Vai substituir a palavra. Isso. Any other word?
PYCON.
Sorry? PYCON? Let's do this. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's go here. Ok. Vai lá, filha. Icon. Você se lembra como escrever? C-O-N. Here. Okay. So we have child in PyCon. What we will do now is, let's say, this file, of course, and then we're going to give a name to this playlist. So just to show, we currently, out of our playlists, we have many playlists. We do not have a PyCon. They are sorted in alphabet. No, they're not sorted in alphabetical order. So I will search for PyCon here. There is no PyCon. So let's name our playlist PyCon.
PyCon's child.
PyCon. Yes, young coder. And then, Amanda, could you run, please? How do we run?
Aqui.
Vai lá, você sabe onde é.
The word is child. Repeating. The word is child. The word is PyCon. Repeating. The word is PyCon.
So right now,
Spelling for child. C-H-I-L-D. Spelling for PyCon. P-Y-C-O-N.
so we added the sound so Amanda could interact and feel the relationship with the interpreter, even though we wouldn't have to actually speak them loud. Now, if we refresh, you can see PyCon playlist appeared here. It has 4 tracks. And then let's say we would like to associate this to the card we showed you before. I raised the app in my phone. So I'm opening the Yodel app here. There must be a way of doing this in via UI as well, but I just find it easier to do via the app. So in the app, I'm finding the PyCon track. We're going to put this, and I'm going to link
Spelling for
the
Miss
homepage.
M-I-S-B-E.
Message no?
There. Okay, so now, did you see?
Yeah.
Okay, if you can remove and place the card again, please.
Remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Child. Repeating. The word is child. PyCon. Repeating. The word is PyCon. For child. C-H-I-L-D. Spelling for PyCon.
So you get the idea. So this is your playlist. So the next steps. We just created an account for Amanda in GitHub, but I still need to teach her how to use. We know we need to improve the experience, overall experience, so we may want to give some more time between the tracks so the child can actually write the words without having to pause the auto. We would like to find an easier way for her to update the words. Currently she has to write in the code. Maybe we could have a web page, or we could even use some OCR. This is an example of trying to identify words dynamically. Then we want to try to use human voices as well. So I did contact the Oxford and Cambridge dictionary organizations, and I asked if we could have access to their data. Both have paid services. And one of them said, and it's quite expensive, in the reply to me. I think they were a bit skeptical about our project. So a friend recommended this website I wasn't familiar with, Formal, where anyone can record any, to pronounce any word. You can upload, and then they are public, and people can actually rate them to see if they're good or not. And their language, there you can see if it is a specific accent. So it's really cool, and it's really cheap. So they have a service. It's very, very inexpensive. And I played a bit with it. We didn't integrate the project yet. But that's a possibility for the words which are there. We could actually leverage human beings pronouncing them. The other idea was to perhaps be able to practice without Yodel as well. Let's say she's not with her Yodel device, to be able to use some web page or something. And then the last item, what's the code they just saw?
Share the project with my school friends so they can also use it.
So we know that many of the parents in Amanda's class are also foreigners. So more children could benefit from this project.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
That's the key from a PyCon concert.
Thank you so much.
We are on time. Yeah, we are on time, so you can answer questions in the lobby. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a really good talk. Thank you. You did mention earlier on, I think it was, I can't remember the exact phrase, but you had an asterisk of it's more easy to use now with LLMs. Did you try using any LLM generated voices for the words? I have no idea if this is a thing or not.
So the answer is no, and that it was intentional. Right now, anyone can be using LLMs to generate things, and I wanted to give Amanda the experience of how old school programmers do things in a way where she could potentially understand and have the struggles without having some magic solution being given to her. But as the project evolves, I think we should try everything until we have the quality that we think she deserves, or any child deserves.
Thank you.
Thank you.